Hello there guys, and welcome back to our car modeling tutorial. Today in this episode I think what we will do is we'll have a go at trying to make a union between these two pieces because these are connected together. In the last episode I did talk about how I was going to clean up this area here, so if you have a look there, I've just made as much space between these vertices as possible and these edges as possible just to make it nice and smooth and a bit more vertical. And then I've also ran like this little bit of geometry around here, so I've added an extra line in and kind of connected it up. Just to make that look an awful lot smoother as it kind of goes down inside there. There is also some other stuff I could do in here by tidying this up a little bit as well. So again, I'll probably put a little bit more effort into that between this and the next episode, just making sure everything's looking really nice and neat. So by merging these together, it's going to be a little bit awkward because we've already got some existing geometry on both sides. So let's maybe just get into it and see what we need to do. I think the first thing we're going to want to do is probably delete this edge and this edge. So I'm going to select those and just hit Control D to delete those. Just to kind of start from scratch with them. We can see that we do need to add those back in or something to that description back in at some point, which we will do. Let's go in here just now and we're going to want to add in a little edge in here. So we've got a little triangle going on, so let's maybe just, I'm going to grab the multi-cut tool and I'm going to drop in, I'm just holding control here, and I'm just going to drop in an edge just there, something like that. What I'm also going to do is maybe I'm going to grab the target welds and I'm going to merge that together so it's more of a triangle, and then I'm going to grab this, I'm going to hold down V, I'm going to snap it to that existing piece of that existing vertices that's just there. So that's looking okay. I think what we'll maybe do is let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that as well. So I don't think we'll need that. I don't think we will. We'll see in a second. And I think what we want to do is grab this edge that we've just added in. I'm going to hit Control E and I'm just going to pull this all the way. We don't really care where it's going because what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back, we're going to target weld this one over here, and then I'm going to select this vertices, hold down V, I'm going to snap over here. So then maybe what we could do is just bring the edge slide in there a little bit. Let's double check our top view. Maybe we won't because we do have a little line there that we kind of need to stay on, so maybe just do something like that. And then eventually what will happen once these are merged is this will run down and around there, so that'll be okay. Let's think for this bit under here. I don't think we're probably not going to want, we're not going to want this one either, I don't think, because what we'll probably want to do is, actually let's maybe finish that line off. So we are going to want to grab from here. I'm thinking we'll probably want to go up nice and close up here, maybe something like that. I'm just going to draw this in using the multi-cut tool. Okay. Yeah, so I think we're going to want to do that in there, and I think what we'll want to do is we'll actually want this potentially to, I'm just going to hold down V, and I think we want that, remove that. I think we're going to want that to snap here. Yeah, so I think we'll want that to snap there. Maybe for now we'll get this one, hold V, and we'll snap that one here. I'm going to work on X-ray a little bit. Okay, so let's actually maybe, I'm going to target weld that one down there. I'm going to target weld that one down there as well. And I think what we'll probably want is for this one, I'm going to hold down V and I'm going to snap it to this vertices and then just pull it down, because obviously it will go underneath. So I think we're going to want to maybe do that. Let me just smooth that off a little bit there by bringing that in this direction. Okay. Maybe what we could do is we could just drop an edge here. And then I'm going to hold V up here and then bring that one down. Like that. Okay. So that's kind of just matching that geometry. So that's going to give us two lines to kind of go down and underneath. The problem is we have more than two lines on this side. So on this side we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, which is a little bit awkward for us because we want to have as realistically as little geometry running through here as absolutely possible. I think what we might actually want to do is no, I think that's okay. Yeah, no, that's okay. So on this underside here, we've got this awkward bit here. Because we're not going to see underneath here, I'm wondering if we could maybe just cheat with that and just leave it kind of in position there and not really worry too much about merging it together. Let's maybe grab this and this. I'm going to grab these two edges. Let's go and bridge between those. Okay. So we can see here where this is running along as it should, which is nice. We can see this is going to continue straight through there as well. We've also got this bit here, which potentially will require to attach as well. Let's maybe get rid of X-ray. Hopefully you guys are able to see this okay. But I think what we'll want to do is we will want to draw in two lines. We want to stick fairly close up there and down here. I'm not going to put in any horizontal lines anytime soon because that's just going to affect everything that we're trying to work on, so maybe bring that in there as well. And I'm just trying to match those up with the existing geometry because that's where we snapped everything to before. So we'll bring those down there. Okay, so we have these lines that are going on inside here, and like I said, I'm tempted to just maybe leave that one as is. We have these two that kind of sync up, so let's maybe take the vertices for this. Again, I'm going to maybe work on X-ray here, so I'm going to grab these two vertices and pull them down and underneath. I'll grab all of them. Super hard to kind of see what we're working with here, so hopefully you guys are doing okay with this. Pull that down too. Oops. Okay, so we can see that this one already kind of lines up. So let's maybe take this. I'm going to hold down V. I'm going to snap that back here. Something like that. We have one more here. So maybe what we could do is we could target weld this one and this one. So we've got a bit of a triangle going on there. So maybe we could target weld those together, and then let's grab this. I'm going to hold down V to bring it over there. Okay. So what I'm wondering is if we could maybe attach everything apart from this kind of frontal section. Let's maybe have a go at merging these together. So I'm gonna want to combine, before we do, let's just double check everything's sitting in the right spot down here. So I'm gonna get these. Let me just go X-ray again. So I'm going to hold down V. I'm going to snap to that new kind of bridge for both of those. Just there. Okay, so let's have a go at merging these two together then. So let's grab them both. I'm going to hit mesh and then combine. I'm going to want to zoom in here. We are going to need to plot that somewhere as well. So we'll need to think about that too. Maybe we'll just leave that with a gap just now. Okay, so let's go and we'll take all of these vertices here. So I'm just going to grab these, I'm going to hit edit mesh and we want to merge those. Do all of those there. I'm going to grab all of these across here and then down here as well. We're going to kind of drop underneath and we want to merge these ones and these ones too. Okay, so if we was to hit 3, we can see what's going on under there. We can see that all of that has merged together nicely. And we can see that intersecting up there doesn't look too bad, so maybe that is the way to go for that. And then what we're going to want to do is under here, I'm going to grab these ones, edit mesh, merge those, and then the same down here. So if we hit 3 there as well, we should see those connecting underneath, which we do. And then I think the last ones, we want to merge these as well. So I'm going to grab these, edit mesh, and we'll merge those, and then that one as well. Okay, so we have that connecting all the way around. We have this bit which is kind of intersecting, but not too much, so I think we'll be okay with that. And then also under here, it looks messy, but we're going to have a big honeycomb mesh here grill, so that's probably not going to be too much of a problem here either. Before we do anything else, I'm going to grab everything that's kind of associated with that, just there. I'm going to grab the move tool. I want to make that a bit thicker, especially at this bottom bit here. Because just on the examples that I'm seeing are a lot thicker than what we have already, so let's maybe just do something like that. Now obviously when we hit smooth it goes thin again, but once we add some kind of supporting mesh in there, that should be fine. So I think we're looking okay there. We may come back and do some changes at some point, but I think we're doing okay. So let's maybe go and insert some edge loops. Let's jump up here. Maybe just drop one centrally. Just to help with that curve there, and then maybe here. So now when we hit smooth on there, we've got a little bit more of a curve going down there. Okay, so I think there we're happy. What we're going to want to do is up here, I think we're going to want to take this here and I'm going to target weld and then target weld again, because I think we've just got a little bit of information there. Actually maybe not, because I think we'll be okay. I think what we'll do is let's just get some kind of seal going around this window. I'm going to start brand new. I don't want to extrude off anything, because I think at this point, actually no, we should be good. Let's select kind of everything that's involved in the window here. It does look like, let's just check around here. Just going to target weld that one down. I think that might have been something that I had missed from before. So target weld that one down there. Okay, so let's grab all of these edges here. Not that one. Okay, so I'm going to take all of these, I'm going to hit Control E, I'm going to pull down on the orange. It looks like I've missed one there. going to pull down on the green even, not the orange. Okay. And I'm going to run around, double select all of those, and I'm going to go to mesh or edit mesh and extract. Okay. I'm just going to hold down V to snap and then pull this just so that we're going nice and vertical. Okay. So I'm holding V to snap again, and then we're just going to pull that back. Just because when we extrude this, sometimes we don't know if it's going to be like having like a little twist or an edge to it. Especially in Maya, the extrusions have never really been too reliable. Because we can see here that these ones have actually gone straight up in the way rather than up. I'll grab this one here and do the same again. Pull that in as well. Okay, so we'll do something like that. Let's maybe push this over here so we kind of intersect with that a little bit. Maybe pull these out a little bit as well. I'm maybe going to take the lower ones and push those in. Just a little bit. Okay, let's go and grab insert edge loop, and I'm going to drop one at the top here and then one at the bottom here. And I'm going to bridge between, so I'm going to grab those two and I'm going to bridge. And then what I'm going to do inside here is I'm going to go and I'm going to redraw. So I'm going to draw from the corner to the corner, which means I can grab this point here and delete, and that point there and delete as well. I'm going to do the exact same up here because we don't want more than we need in terms of the corner geometry here. So I'm going to rough those, Control and delete. So that's running around there with a nice little bit of seal for us. But what we can do right now is I'm going to double click on both inside and the outside edge. I'm going to hit Control E, and then on the world I'm going to pull those in that direction there. So that's going to be the kind of window trim for us. Let me go in and just quickly assign the darker material to that. Okay, so we can see that trim going nicely inside there, and then when we smooth them both out, because the geometry matches, we can see that that's going to flow around inside there nice and neatly for us. Let's get a side view real quick. Okay, so we do have an issue at the top, because what we actually have up here is we actually want to be something more like that. Now before we move on, it looks like we do want a whole lot more trim in here. So we're just going to kind of do our best to match that thickness. So do something like that. And it looks like we do want to do what I thought before, and we do want to grab all this. I'm going to hit Control E, I'm going to pull this down here. I'm going to just target weld the lower one back there, and the top one, and target weld that one back too. And then for these ones, I'm just going to snap this to the trim, so I'm going to hold down V on this, I'm going to snap that to that trim that we have, and then do the same over there. Do something like that. What we could do with this is we could put a little bit of a gap, a little bit more of a gap between this. So maybe up there and there. I'm just going to make sure in the perspective here that we're looking okay there. Do something like that. And then again, let's snap these holding V. Around there. Now that's not looking too nice because of this bit. Maybe what we could do with this, let me select everything on there, we go to our top view, let's see if there's any kind of leeway with this. Maybe pull it over here just a little bit. Just something like that, just so that's running a bit flatter and it's not going to look so weird. And then this bit we could maybe readjust this bit maybe as well, a bit further forward up here. Something like that, so that's looking quite nice. Inside there that's going to drop down for us, so that's looking okay. And then we've got our kind of window trim around there. We could drop in an actual window. Yeah, let's do that. So let's bring in a plane here. I'm going to rotate this around. We'll try and do this quick because we might be able to do the rear window as well. I'll hit negative 90 on there. Let's get rid of the extras that we don't need. And I think we only want to kind of run until here anyway, so we'll maybe just go, we'll just go the whole way. So I'm going to hold down V, we'll snap into these points. Go here and here. Okay, so we've got something like that. I'm going to do a multi-cut down here and here. So that can help us make that portion of the window there. Okay. I think we just need 2 loops in here. Okay. And then what we'll do is I'm just going to drop a single point on here, and then that can hold down V and that can go over here for us. Okay, so what this is going to help us kind of do is we can kind of see the angle for that window, and we can see how the actual trim that we've added isn't the best. So what we can do is we can bring in the window a little bit, the glass, until it's running a lot smoother. So that's a bit smoother, and then as we go to the back we want to be a little bit smoother again. Maybe like that. Definitely more there. And then at the top here we can do the same again, so maybe that bit in a little bit. Maybe actually out a bit at the top, so we'll come up here, out here. And then once we're happy with the kind of glass placement and how smooth that looks, I'm actually going to hold down V and snap the trim to match the window rather than the window to match the trim, just because it's kind of hard to get that trim fully positioned. So we'll bring that in there. Let's snap that back. Just going to give us a nicer angle on that trim to kind of suit the actual glass. And then once we're happy with that, I'm going to grab that glass. I'm just going to push it in past that trim a little bit. So that's sitting in there nicely. Let's quickly just add our window blend to that. Okay, so that's looking good. Now let's think maybe around here then. So we're fairly happy with everything that's going on up here. So what we have is we have some glass that kind of runs from top to bottom there. And let's just double check. We don't really want to be adding any geometry across here because we don't want to interfere with this, because as soon as what we do is, if I grab my edge loop, say we drop in a bunch of edges here, as soon as we start hitting 3 on this, we'll see that the top of our circle there is no longer a circle. So we're going to want to try and be a little creative at least with that. We do have a couple of edges up here, so it looks like that one's not going to be an issue, so it's going to be kind of 4 going into 1 down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to drop in 1, 2, 3 points. I'm going to grab all of these and hit Control E. And then holding V on my keyboard, I'm going to bring all these down here. So take all those down there. I'm going to select these faces, I'm going to say Mesh, Edit Mesh, and we'll extract those. And then down here, I'm going to grab all those extra vertices that I've just added and we'll hit delete on those. So that's sitting in exactly the right spot. I did have a look and there doesn't appear to be any kind of trim around this bit. We may add a little bit just because a little bit later on, but there doesn't appear to be any significant trim, so we'll maybe just leave as it is. We do, though, however, want to just double check 2 things. 1, we definitely want to be a lot more rounded than this, and 2, we want that roundedness to kind of match with our current geometry on this side. So for example, we're going to want to have a line that runs here. So let's go insert an edge loop. I'm going to drop it down just here. So it's going to run roughly similar to that one. And I'm going to pull that up. We're going to do the same down here. And when I'm happy with that, I'm going to pull that up too. And then I'll do one more down here. I'm going to pull that one up as well. Okay, something like that. So we've got like a little bit of curvature to that glass. And then simply what we can do just now is let's take all of these. I'm going to hit Control E, pull these away. I'm going to quickly target weld that top one back. And then I'm going to run around holding V, and I'm just going to snap to all of these points here for that. Okay. Now before I do anything else, I just want to make sure that this is looking nice. All the geometry is flowing nicely, which I think for the most part it is. I think down here, if I can get a good angle, we'll maybe want to bring this down. Maybe something like that. And then we'll just double check that we're happy with everything along this side. So maybe I'm going to bring on my edge slide. Just kind of smooth those curves off. Kind of do the same down here as well. Okay, so that's looking good. And then what we could maybe do here just for now, and again this is something we may undo a little bit later on, but we'll do it just now. I'm going to hit Mesh and Edit Mesh and hit Extract on there, and then this bit here is going to be our darker material and this is going to be our glass. So that's looking good. Right then guys, so I think we're probably going to call that there. I think we're looking quite good now. We've got practically the whole base mesh kind of laid out. When we hit smooth on there, we don't have any crazy problems as we look around here. There's nothing in there that's causing so many disastrous problems that we'll need to have a rethink about anything. Even that is something that's manageable. So I think then in the next episode what we're going to do is we're going to start to think about dividing up all the different panels. So we're going to chop off the front bumper, for example. We're going to add in all the geometry and everything that it would need in order to work. One last thing before we go actually is this. So all of that's kind of what I want to do with this is I want to quickly, just with my edge transform, I'm going to bring this along here like that, because that's going to be the kind of connection over here. Let me just turn off that edge transform and snap that over there. So we want that to be something like that. Right then guys, so we're about to start hitting the ground running with our next sections. This is where it starts to get quite complicated and at times a little bit frustrating, but what we'll do is we'll do the best we can when we get there. So if you enjoyed this video guys, please hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you in the next one.